gentlemen, guys and dolls, cats and chicks, you're listening to Viva ENT. We're live today at the Tacoma Dome, and we are at the Wedding Expo Tacoma. There's a lot of great vendors here. The doors open at 9:30 a.m. We'll be here till 3 o'clock. We will be here tomorrow from 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, Tacoma Dome, Wedding Expo. And there's a lot of great vendors down here, and anybody out there that has a friend, relative, or if you're a person that's getting married shortly, come on down to the expo, because this is the place where you want to meet vendors. And I have one of the greatest vendors in the history of the state of Washington, my friend, buddy, and pal, Mr. Eddie Redmond. And Eddie is the proud owner of Grant Event Rentals. Yeah. Eddie, you're on the radio, handsome.
Okay, let's take it away, Johnny.
Take it away.
Welcome to the wedding show.
Yeah.
Looking forward to people coming down.
Yes, sir.
One of the biggest spring ones we've had.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of great vendors, a lot of great booths. And, you know, like you say, if you're getting married, let's come down and get some ideas, browse around, get some dresses, look at the rentals, look at the catering, and take it away from there. And
not only that, Eddie, this show is sold out. So there is lots and lots and lots and lots of great vendors here today, including yourself.
Absolutely. I've walked the floor many times. I think I have 5 miles on my feet today.
You are the floor, aren't you?
I am, yeah. We got to make sure everybody's happy and it's all set and power's up and all the booths are looking spiffy. Yeah,
not only are you one of the vendors here with your company, you're also the guy that sets up the shows.
We are.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, we're also a trade show company, so we got almost 130 booths in here.
Cool.
And, you know, we help everybody get their booth set up. We give them ideas and help them have that look for all the brides coming through.
And they absolutely do. Your booth, Joe's booth, Jim Mo's Photography. We have Pacific Grill Events and Catering. We're going to get Pattie Graffe up here shortly. Chambers Bay, Dinner for Two, VIva Productions, all kinds of great vendors. And Jill Mo's Photography, sure, we're going to get you on the radio, sweetie, as she's staring at me from across her booth. So what else is going on today? Do you know if they have any, have you talked to Brad? Do they have any specials going on today?
Well, a lot of the booths offer specials, I know.
That's right.
They do have something interesting on the other side of the dome here. They're actually got a Tacoma utility show going on. So
no kidding.
After you get married, you might be able to go out and ride in a bucket up into the sky later on.
You mean, yeah.
Yeah, they're electrical. Tacoma Power has one of their boom trucks out there with a bucket, and I think they're offering rides.
No kidding.
Yeah, so get engaged, get your bridal dress, hop in the bucket.
I'm going to round up some vendors for Eddie to interview here today. And so, ladies and gentlemen, hang tight because we got lots of great vendors coming your way.
Okay, this is Eddie here down at the Tacoma Wedding Expo on Viva Entertainment. I'm here talking with Pattie Graffe with Pacific Grill Events and Catering.
Yes,
welcome.
It is. Thanks.
Tell us a little bit about Pacific Grill and what makes you unique.
Well, lots of things. We're really known for our food. So many times with catering, people think food is a necessary evil, but it's not great. Rubber chicken and all that. But we have amazing food. And we're not just an on-site caterer, but we're off-site too. We take it to many venues in Tacoma and the surrounding areas.
I've actually eaten in there, and your seafood is phenomenal. So
thanks.
Tell us a little bit maybe about what kind of items you have on your menu that makes it unique.
Well, we definitely have a lot of seafood. We definitely have, chicken and that kind of stuff. But I think one of the things that make us really unique is all of our pastries are in-house, house-made. Our crostinis, our dressings, our sauces, nothing's made from a box, which I think is pretty cool.
That is awesome. In fact, if you had samples here, we would be able to critique them this morning. But unfortunately, it's tough keeping food hot and cold at these wedding shows. So we'll just have to visualize what you're talking about. What else can you tell us about some of your off-site events?
Well, we're at the LeMay America's Car Museum. Not only do we have the catering over there, but we're also the cafe as well. And so if you want to be up looking at the view of the city and the cars, it's a fun place to have an event. We're also at all the museums in Tacoma, too. And then anywhere you want to take us.
Wow, that sounds quite fantastic. Do you have a special car menu for the LeMay Museum?
No, but everybody loves burgers and beer, and we're actually really known for our burger sliders, so they're very popular.
Oh, well, here. I'm ready to try those too. I think we're going to have to go down to Pacific Grill today just to sample some food. Enjoy the show. Come on down here and stop by the Pacific Grill Events and Catering booth. Thank you, Pattie.
Thank you.
Pattie Redmond, Grand Event Rentals, down here at the Tacoma Wedding Expo with VIva Entertainment. with me right now is Sineka with Belle Bridal. Sineka, tell us a little bit about Belle Bridal and what makes it unique.
Yes, thank you, Eddie. We are so excited to be here. We've got over 100 dresses in stock, lots of different styles and colors, prices as low as $99. Yes, we do have a large space for all of our dresses that we bring with us. Basically, you can choose off the rack what you want to try on. Step on into one of our fitting rooms. One of our associates will kind of assist and help show you what you can accessorize, add a belt, a veil, help you envision how you want to look on your special day.
Well, and you can also take them in and alter them and do whatever it takes to make that one fit, even if it's slightly off when they try it on, correct?
Yeah, 100%. You can always alter a dress down and do the hem, a bustle, add sleeves. You really can take a dress and morph it into exactly what you envision.
And what about tiaras? Because I always like the look of tiaras. Can we come in and get a tiara?
We did not bring any of our tiaras this time.
Okay, but they're available, correct?
Yes, absolutely. We have lots of accessories and tiaras in our store in Bellingham.
Okay, well, come on down to the Wedding Expo. Come visit the Wedding Belle and Sineka and say hello.
Thank you so much, Eddie. See you guys soon.
Thank you for stopping in.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here live at the Tacoma Dome today. This is Johnny the Capo, your host, and I am the owner of VIva Productions, Vegas Nights. The VIva Productions part of our company, we have wedding DJ, wedding photography, of course, sound and lighting for whatever you might need. And, of course, Vegas Nights is my casino entertainment company, which we do private and corporate parties. And believe it or not, once in a while, brides will hire us to do casino for their weddings. I've done probably more wedding receptions with casino games in the last couple of years than I have done previously. So, yeah, casino tables, wedding reception, I like it. I like it just fine. But I want to invite everybody to come down to the Tacoma Dome today. It's Saturday the 25th, and we're live here. And we have all kinds of great things happening, all kinds of vendors. I believe there's 130 vendors here. We're sold out here at the Tacoma Dome. And it's popping, all kinds of great things going on, all kinds of giveaways, all kinds of specials. I have the lovely Jill Mose coming. She's running to my booth she's running, she can't wait to stand next to the capo.
Johnny, live.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, make a long story short, the one and only, the fabulous, the beautiful, the sensational Jill Most be talking to brides and mothers of brides and bridesmaids and occasionally a groom.
Occasionally some of them do come through here, and I encourage more grooms to actually come here because it's great to get involved and actually be a part of your wedding day.
I agree, 1,000%.
You know, as much as I love my brides, you know, they do the majority of the planning, but I mean, guys, you have a say in, you know, your DJ, your photographer, the people that you're going to be interacting with throughout your whole wedding day. So
I like the MOBs because they usually like me more than the brides.
Mother of the brides, yes, absolutely. I find that there's a lot more family orientation when they come here. I mean, you know, grandmas, aunts, you know, mothers, and sometimes it's like nieces and cousins, and it's really cool seeing, you know, families come through here and everybody's excited for the bride. So, yeah.
And what about your photography company?
Doing amazing this year.
Now, you don't have packages, but for the most part, or do you?
I do have some packages, a few of them, and they are all online. I do all my pricing online, so everything is straightforward. It's really simple online. But I like people to build their own package. I do a lot more photography right now, actually, in Hawaii. So my off season, that's why we put the packages together. So when we're in Hawaii, it just makes life a little simpler for, you know, being out there.
Do I detect that you're planning on moving?
Purchasing house, yes, but no, I'm not moving there full time. We will be still here in Washington. I am a Seattle girl through.
You're a Seattle girl, but you're heading towards Hawaii.
Well, I'm a West Coast girl. I mean, you know, between LA to Seattle, that's always been my life. And, you know, yes, I expanded to Hawaii, and it's been amazing and beautiful.
So does that mean you're going to be doing the Hawaiian
The Hawaii
Expos
show.
with Brad?
I do the Hawaii Expos with Brad, so
Excellent.
I'm there in January. Amazing show. So if anybody is planning any destination weddings, absolutely check out the show that they have there. It has some of the most amazing vendors. It's very theatrical. It's very elaborate. It's a 3-day show.
Hawaii.
You know, there's the news stations are there and the radio stations, so it's very I just produced well. I mean, Brad and Heather do a great show there. So.
I probably fit in Hawaii pretty good.
Yeah. It is fun out there, and Johnny, you would enjoy yourself with the girls on the beach. So.
Girls on the beaches commit a sin if they don't show yards and yards of skin.
Oh, cheese and rice. Only Johnny, guys.
So anyway, Joe, it's nice having you on the show, and you've always been a great sport helping us co-host the show, and thank you so much.
No problem. I will be here, you guys, across from Johnny. So if anybody wants to come chit-chat with me, if Johnny is a little too much for you, come hang out at my booth.
Too much monkey business. We're here at the Tacoma Dome. I'm with Wendy from Simply Wendy.
Hi, Johnny. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's nice to see you again.
Great.
And tell our listeners all about you, your company, and what you do.
Well, I'm Simply Wendy, Floral and Events. I've been doing this probably for about 39 years.
Oh, my gosh.
I've been doing the show since 1996.
I know.
Yeah, so I've been a wedding florist. I own a flower shop, and then I sold all the shops, and I've gone freelance, and I just do everything now, from uplighting and backdrops and ceilings and floral and day of coordinating. We just kind of do it all.
So it's simply weddings with Wendy now. It's not so much floral as it is everything.
It's everything. I mean, floral is my main thing, but it got to the point where people go, well, do you know anybody with linen? Do you know anybody with backdrops? Well, we just
Correct.
started doing it all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I need to start sending more clients to you myself, actually, because I get the clients that once they trust you as a vendor, then they start asking you, who to refer.
It's exactly how I work as well. I use a lot of the same people. We do a lot of the same events together. That makes it really fun. You all know how each other works. You can help each other.
Correct.
I mean, it just works that way, and I really enjoy doing that.
It does really work well that way. I don't do it a lot because I'm so busy that I kind of drop the ball on that, but I really need to do that more often.
Well, I would love to work with you more.
Well, absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely, positively. So you've been doing these shows. You're one of the original
I am.
vendors.
Brad showed up in my shop in 1996 with Chase, who was only 2.5 years old.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You want to do a show?" And I go, "Well, what?" I didn't even know about him. They had just started. And I have been doing them ever since. So I love it.
I remember when Chase used to go get my pop for me.
Yeah.
I give him a couple of bucks. Hey, go get me a Coke.
And now we've watched all the boys grow up. And my girls all grew up in the business, too. I mean, my oldest daughter was 3 days old when she started living on the design bench in my flower shop. So my girls all know what they're doing, too. So
Very cool.
yeah.
So you got a really great booth set up over there.
I do. This is the largest booth I've ever done. I
noticed that today.
Normally I do a double. But, Brad, he loves to talk good to me, and so I said, fine, I'll do a 4 booth. Well, I had to really think it out, and I love it. I actually just love it. It's fun to do.
Yes, it looks, as soon as I turned the corner over there and I saw you, when you have a big setup like that, it automatically draws your eye to it.
Well, it just shows you a little bit of what I can do in different areas, so that's what's fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, you are the queen of everything.
Well, thank you.
Here at the Tacoma Wedding Expo. It's always a pleasure to see you, and thank you so much for being on our show today.
Well, I'm so happy to be on your show, and I can't wait to do more with you.
Thank you so much. We are live at the Tacoma Dome. I am with wedding photographer Leo Silch. And Leo, you have been amazing wedding photographer for many, many, many years. Not to give away your age, but say hi to our listeners.
Good morning, everybody.
And you know what I would really like you to do is give a little tutorial, educate some of these clients, prospective clients that are coming to the show today about what they should look for in a wedding photographer. Because if you've never have booked a wedding photographer before, and of course I have experience, marketing it, sure, selling it, and helping people plan their day as far as photography. But the real thing is, I just don't think that the general public, and I could be wrong, people are getting more educated as time goes on, but when they come to a wedding expo, what are the smart questions? or what are the questions
the
they
key
should be
ingredients to
asking?
look for, as far as I'm concerned, is experience. You don't want somebody that's just learned how to do this. You don't want somebody that's just picked up a new digital camera and says, I can shoot a wedding. You want someone that's done there, that's been to this party, that's done the rodeo, that knows what they're doing. I think that's the key ingredient. Ask for references. Look at their images. And don't just look at their big Photoshopped images. Ask them to look at a wedding from start to finish.
There you go.
Their style. Whether they have the assistant with them, an associate. Those kind of questions are very, very important.
Well, it is very important, but what are some of the questions that you find people are asking you that are really kind of off the wall, and they shouldn't even really be going there?
I think a lot of people ask, what kind of camera?
Right.
I don't think that's relevant. Most cameras today, modern cameras, digital cameras, all have a large enough file size. It's who's behind the camera that counts. Again, if you're going to feel nervous with your photographer, if you feel any kind of intimidation by your photographer, if you feel if you're not enamored by your photographer, then you should look elsewhere.
That's right.
It's that simple. You've got to like him. You've got to get along. And I don't mean him or her. You've got to like him, get along with him, respect him, and like his work.
So, in other words, that's why it's so very important to come to these shows.
Absolutely, face to face. Face to face.
Because the fact is that I think it's mostly if a client takes a liking to the particular vendor, whether it's the DJ, the photographer, the florist, the caterer. Usually, if you take a liking to them and you're comfortable, then that creates a comfort zone. And I know one thing with my experience, if a client trusts me and likes me, I'm going to go out of my way to make sure they're happy.
Absolutely.
It's not like we want to get clients hot here.
What I like to see in a client come to me and that person says, "You've done this before. You're in charge." It's exactly what when I go to the dentist or the doctor, I don't go, I wonder what my friend would say. I wonder what it says on Google. I put them in my, they're in my hands. I'm in their hands. They have got the experience. They've got the professional. They've been trained. That's what I like to see. And if you've got a good rapport with your photographer and or doctor or a caterer or whatever, then you'll put that trust in them.
That's another thing too. You can't always believe what you see on the internet because it's easy to dummy up good reviews.
That's right.
So and so, and they are the greatest, and dummy up half a dozen good reviews. They stay on the top of the search engine. It doesn't mean that you are getting quality. So these wedding expos that we do all year long with Brad are really the proof in the pudding.
Absolutely. Come on down, face to face, meet the vendor that
face to face, station to station, man.
That's right. Come down, look at their work, and look them in the eye and ask them questions, direct questions.
Ask them the smart questions.
That's right. Like I said, experience counts.
The questions that you see on these bridal magazines, top 5 questions to ask, they're not always the smartest top 5 questions to ask.
But I think it is imperative that you meet people. You see their product, you see them. So come on down, visit us today. Great day, a lot of people down here, a lot of vendors.
That's right. Leo, hand the microphone over there to Nolan.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you, Leo. You can find Leo at the VIva Productions booth, along with me, Johnny the Capo. Meanwhile, you are now with a new company, correct?
Well, not necessarily. Joseph A. Bank has been around since 1905.
Oh, yeah, that's what
so we've been around a long time.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. I guess I'm new.
Okay.
If you can say I'm new, we're new.
You've been in the business forever and a day.
Yes, sir.
What I meant was I thought you were with another company, but now you're with Joseph A. Bank, right?
Yes, I was with Men's Warehouse, but now we're with Joseph A.
And we're a credible company. They're
yes,
a great
sir.
company.
Yeah. Well, we're part of the same parent company, Taylor Brands.
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
So, any specials today? Tell our listeners what's going on with Joseph A. Bank.
Joseph A. Bank offers the widest selection of tuxedo rentals, suit rentals.
Cool.
Purchases at special promo prices, custom suits at half off, so we can custom make whatever you want to do for your wedding, just like your bride, but we're going to come in a lot lower, a lot lower. And again, we follow Taylor Brand's vision of taking care of the man, the male, right?
Correct.
The male. Just like Men's Warehouse, we're sister and brother.
Sure.
And they're our sister because we're the male.
Correct.
Right. Yep.
Gotcha.
So that's what we do.
Excellent. And, the clothes really make the man, and the clothes really make the event sometimes.
Yes, sir. You're right.
Depending on, individuals' personalities and what they're going for, the look that they want,
Yes.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. I know myself, I'm more into a classier type look,
You're always sharp, Johnny. You are always sharp.
Thank you so
classic,
much.
You're a classic man.
Thank
You're a
you.
classic man.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you very much, baby. You're a classic man, and we have things for classic men, for modern men. We have all the fits, all the cuts, extreme slim fit, or just kind of classic. We can do whatever you need to do, have done for your wedding.
That is cool.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to be here both days, Saturday and Sunday yourself, right?
Yes, sir. I'm going to be here. You bet.
So when
all
they go
day.
up to the Joseph A. Bank booth here at the Tacoma Dome, they can ask for Nolan,
I'm going to be here. You betcha.
my man.
I'm in Gig Harbor, and we're gonna service the Pacific Northwest from Olympia to Tacoma to Gig Harbor and out on the peninsula. Absolutely.
So the main shop that you work out of right now is Gig Harbor?
Yes, sir. That's my store.
That is great. Do you see any kind of new trends going on today that everybody's going with, or is it pretty much the same?
Well, the trends are always classic because you want to look. Your photos are going to outlive you.
Correct.
And down the road, you're right. Down the road, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren are going to look at you and go, "Oh my God, look at that! That's old." We want to go classic, neutral. We can do whatever you want to do, but
Right.
classic is always king, right, Johnny?
Correct.
You know that
I
because you're
like it.
classic.
Thanks so
classic,
much.
classic is always king, and the trend today is more modern fit, neutral colors. Bride and groom stand together. Let the bridesmaids and the groomsmen kind of compliment you, and that's always going to be the case. That's kind of what we recommend, is that the bride and the groom stand together and be classic and
Yes.
neutral.
Yes,
because that's timeless, right? That's timeless. So that's what we recommend.
That's
Not
the
a
way
lot
to go.
not a lot has changed, Johnny.
Good.
Yeah.
It hasn't. It hasn't.
Right. It
Yeah.
hasn't. It hasn't. Right. Right. Right.
It always goes back to the basic, I think.
Yes, sir.
Back to the basics of love, brother.
That's what it's about. It's really about love and less about what you look like, and we know that.
Yeah.
It's about love, and
We do.
and the couples getting married, they know that it's about love.
Love.
That's ground zero. Love.
That's it.
Right. Love.
You gotta love what you're doing. You gotta love the clothes, man.
Yes, sir. I love you, Johnny. Thank you, man.
Same
Thank you
here,
for always
brother.
being here.
Thank you, Nolan, for being on the show.
Absolutely.
You're my man.
All right, give me a hug, man.
Okay, pal.
All right. I love you, man. Go ahead, keep doing what you're doing.
Okay, thanks, Nolan. We're here live at the Tacoma Dome, Tacoma Wedding Expo. I'm here with the fabulous Brenda Pierce, and she's with John L Scott Realty. Say hi to our listeners, Brenda.
Hello there. Thanks for listening.
Oh, it's a pleasure to listen to you all the time, trust me. Anyway, you're here at the Wedding Expo, and you got a booth a couple booths away from me. And, this is a great place for a realtor to be, I think.
Yes, it is. A lot of people may be focused on their wedding right now, but they'll be looking for a home very shortly. So I'm excited.
Yes, absolutely. I think that the realty at the Wedding Expo is a great idea. Your booth looks really cool.
Thank you.
It's all spiffed up.
We're still
so
working on
and
it.
so forth. So why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, your company, and what's going on?
Well, I'm Brenda Pierce with John L Scott. I've been in the business about 11 years, and I'm really excited to say that this year we've decided to focus on two different aspects of real estate. One being the senior aspect, with seniors moving from their longtime family home to assisted living or another family member's home. So we are putting together plans to help you move from that home and get it all your belongings out and sorted and distributed, help you find a person to help you move into a assisted living home, all those kind of things that most real estate agents don't pay attention to. There's a lot more that goes into a senior home. A lot of times there's hoarding problems or
I would say
deferred maintenance, and so we have to work through all those issues. So I'm really excited to say that myself and my team are working on helping seniors, and then we're also doing a lot of down payment assistance programs for home buyers to get 4% from the state of Washington.
How cool is that?
Yes, state of Washington has 4% for your down payment, and there's an endless supply of money from them right now. It's a zero down, zero interest,
4%
no payment.
for seniors?
No, this is for home buyers.
Home buyers.
And it's not just first-time home buyers. It's anyone that hasn't owned a home in 3 years.
Oh.
So they'll give you 4% for your down payment. Then
New
with the
home
little
buyers.
new home buyers, yep. And then with those little skilled negotiations, we can get your closing costs paid, and we can get you a home for next to nothing. A little bit of inspection fee and an appraisal fee, and you're in a home.
Put you right in.
Yep.
That is fabulous. It's a great program.
It's very exciting. Yeah.
I think anybody should get excited about that hasn't been a homeowner for a while or first time, right?
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Wow, it's like
Classes are held regularly, so just get a hold of me or you, and we can get you set up in a class.
It's like stealing candy from a baby here.
It is, and it's free for 30 years. If you don't sell your home for 30 years, you don't have to pay on the loan. So, pretty good deal.
Yeah, that sounds like a real good deal, actually.
Yeah, actually.
So you're going to be here today and tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Good luck with your booth and good luck with your business, and thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you very much, Johnny.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Viva ENT. This is Johnny the Capo. We've been broadcasting live today from the Tacoma Dome. And, every week on our show, we have a celebrity guest. And this is the best of Viva ENT. It's a show that we did with Deana Martin, with Jerry Osborne. And, man, this is really a great show. If you like Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., the Rat Pack, there's stories about the Rat Pack in the early days of rock and roll with Ricky Nelson and Elvis Presley and all those cool things. So stay tuned. Listen to this great show. Deana Martin, ladies and gentlemen. This is Johnny the Capo signing off from the Tacoma Dome. But stay tuned because we got the best of Viva ENT, Deana Martin. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Viva ENT. This is Johnny the Capo, your host. I'm in the studio with my co-host, Mr.
Brad Buckles.
My excellent producer,
Eric C.C. Ryder.
Eric C.C. Ryder. Our special guest today is Deana Martin. And, of course, we also have Jerry Osborne on the line as well.
Legendary rock and roll historian.
I love Jerry, yes.
Who, me or Deana?
Well, I know you're a rock and roll historian.
Oh,
and
okay.
I know that Deana's a historian in a way, too. So we'll find out. Hi, Deana. How you doing?
I am excellent. How are you today?
Oh, we're great. We're so excited to have you on the show.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, that's good. I know when I spoke to Jerry, he said, you guys are the best, so here we are.
Well, thank you. We've been reading and listening and watching for the last week, getting ready for this.
And Deana,
what an honor.
They just played True Love about 5 minutes ago.
Isn't that beautiful?
It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Very well done.
I have a wonderful story about it, too. So
please tell us right now.
Yes. Well, actually, that is my handsome husband, John, found the original handwritten Nelson Riddle arrangement.
Oh, my goodness.
Of True Love, of course, that my dad had recorded over 50 years ago, a beautiful Cole Porter tune. And we went into the studio with wonderful, excellent musicians, re-recorded the whole track with Nelson Riddle's arrangement. Then I went into Capitol Studios in Studio A, where my dad recorded the song. I used his microphone.
Oh, man.
I sat in the very chair he sat in. And I held the chart that he held that was handwritten by Nelson Riddle when I was singing this song with him. And I've got the headset on. I'm listening. I hear the beautiful strings. I'm in Capitol Records. I'm in Studio A. And I couldn't even sing. It was just so overwhelming. And so then I kind of I took a nice deep breath, and then I sang. And it was so beautiful when I went into the booth to hear the playback. And, of course, the engineer was Al Schmidt. He's the Capitol engineer who did Nat and Natalie Cole's Unforgettable.
Sure.
And so I listened to it, and I started to cry. It was just so beautiful, so well done.
We about a month ago or so, we had Hal Blaine on the show.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yeah, I'm sure you know Hal.
Oh, my gosh, he was the Wrecking Crew. He played on my record.
I figured so.
There's another one.
There's another one. Gosh.
What an experience that must have been to not only be there and to experience that, but to actually be able to go back and know all these individuals personally and be able to talk about that today.
It was such a remarkable life. Aside from, my own career and with the Wrecking Crew, with, of course, Glenn Campbell was playing, guitar on my record,
yep.
Which was so amazing, and Hal Blaine. But to know all of these other people, it was, not just, Dean Martin and Uncle Frank Sinatra and Uncle Sammy Davis Jr., but
right.
the people that would be at my home in the living room. You'd have Sammy Kahn on the piano, playing. Maybe he had just written Time After Time.
Wow.
where we'd be sitting around, and there'd be Rosemary Clooney or Judy Garland or Tony Bennett or Andy Williams, and Bobby Darin, and these are the people that I learned from.
Not to drop a name or anything, but some of those musicians I think I've heard of before.
You've heard of them?
I'm young and impressionable. I just that's kind of cool.
Well, you know what? It's so funny. We got Jerry Osborne here, and Jerry, what year? Let me see. When did I first meet Elvis Presley? It was at the Paramount.
Well, you came to the studio to meet me, and I was busy at the time, so I said, we got a new guy here you might like to meet.
That's right.
His name is Elvis Presley. You probably
there
heard
was
of him.
a tall, handsome guy.
No, but, as I recall the story, like the night before, you were at home with Dean and the girls and the family, and I think he more or less called you aside and said, tomorrow we're going to go to the studio and you're going to meet Elvis Presley. And I'm not sure what your reaction was, but I know you had one.
Well, yeah, it was unbelievable. I said, so I've got to get, the pretty dress and everything. So the next day we're at Paramount Studios, standing out in front of my dad's dressing room. And in those days, they didn't have the golf carts then around the studio. And I see this man come riding up on a bicycle. And as he gets closer, I see it's Elvis Presley. Oh, my God. So he gets off the bike, and my dad's standing there. And he said, Elvis would like you to meet my daughters. And Elvis said, these are your beautiful daughters. And Elvis leaned down and took my little hand in his. He said, Deana, I love your dad. He said, and people call me the king of rock and roll, but your dad is the king of cool. Yeah. Well, I almost just died right then.
Glad you didn't.
I know. I said, it must be true. Elvis thinks my dad's cool. Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And you were about 9 or so.
Yeah, unbelievable memories. It was just, fantastic.
Deana, I have an observation that I've never shared with you because I never thought of it until just a few moments ago when you were describing the scene when you were recording True Love, and I have no way to know that this is factually accurate, but let's face it, I'm seldom wrong, right?
Yes, you're very seldom wrong.
I don't think there is another singer ever who recorded with a mother or a father who also had hit music, hit songs, and did so with the same surroundings that you did with this. The chair, the mic, the charts, everything. I don't think that's ever been done by anyone before.
I don't think I just got chills just listening to that. And you are, I don't know if anyone has either, but what a fabulous observation. And it just gave me, as I say, the chills. That's absolutely spectacular.
I think it's true.
That is amazing. Wow.
It's my job.
Let me ask you, Jerry. One name comes to mind, not at the same level, but certainly a generational one. What about Brian Wilson with his daughters?
Well, that might be with Carney, and all of a sudden I'm going blank. But that could be, and also using his. Well, you know what? I'm going to have to call Carly and find out.
That you can come back to us on in a few weeks and let us know.
Okay, we will check that out. That it could be.
I do have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking a little bit earlier about the VMAs and some of the new artists and some of the crazy things that are going on. When we've gone back and looked at photos of you and your family and the stories and the history, you guys just have a sophistication that is beyond belief. How do you feel about some of what was the culture back then and how it's really changed now?
It has changed. Well, first of all, thank you for saying that. It's another fabulous observation. But the thing is, and what comes to mind right now is, for me, teach your children well. We were taught manners. Mm-hmm. My dad was unbelievable. He was an Italian father, and it was his way or the highway. That's how he was. Mm-hmm. And but the press and everything was so different then. The people were more respectful. The paparazzi,
right?
It was a much nicer, a gentler time. Now, with all of the social media and with the YouTube and iTunes and all of this, people can become a success, a huge hit overnight on one TV show, whereas that was not even possible back then. So a lot of the young singers today, and there's some unbelievable ones, but I don't know that they have been taught very well. They don't know manners. They don't have the class.
Correct.
I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but I don't care.
You can blame me. I brought it up.
A lot of them don't know what it takes. And they're going to be, they're going to find out the hard way that it's a lot of hard work, and it's, and hopefully they will, get some good representation, have people teaching them and guiding them through it. But it's such a different time now.
As fast as they became famous, they can become unfamous even faster.
It's true. It's absolutely true. And they will have spent all their millions of dollars that they made, in 4 days. So it's a whole different time, and hopefully, as I say, if they have people guiding them that are the right people, a lot of them will make it. But I mean, there are some unbelievable singers out there today.
Mm-hmm. We were just talking before we got you on the air about how Dino and Frank and Sammy just reek with class, and they just they just had it. They didn't try to be cool; they were cool.
That's exactly
right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, it's okay. They didn't try to have class; they had it.
They had class. They were classic, and they knew their trade. They
Correct.
knew what they could do. They were excellent. They were the best at everything they did. They were great actors, singers, dancers. They were funny.
Yeah.
They were.
They were.
They adored each other. They weren't jealous of each other. When they were on stage together, to watch the look in their eyes, that they were just happy. They were happy to let the other one shine. And for me personally, sitting in my first time sitting in the Copa room, ringside at the Sands Hotel, and watching the three of them together was unbelievable.
Oh, I bet.
I was able to learn from the very best. But I remember when, the stage would be dark, then the timpani would start the roll, and then you would hear, "Ladies and gentlemen, the Sands Hotel is proud to present the star of our show, direct from the bar, Deana Martin." And then my dad would walk out looking so handsome in his tuxedo.
Of course.
And the crowd around me, the people sitting around, they'd go, "Oh, there he is."
Exactly.
And I'd be like, "Oh, my gosh, I've got to do this."
Well, I had the good fortune to grow up in Las Vegas and lived in Las Vegas all my life up until about 2000 when I moved up north here to Seattle.
Oh.
I remember when they were making the movie Ocean's 11.
Oh, God, great.
Yeah, and of course I was a kid. I think I was about 10 or 11 or something. But I would pick up the newspaper every day, and I'm sure you heard of Forrest Duke, who was the Review Journal
Yes.
talent writer. And every morning there was a news story about what the Rat Pack did last night. they were on the set all day, and then they did their show last night, and the house was packed, and everything was just a different era and a different time, and it was just such a happy time too.
Yes, it was, and everybody looked good.
Yes.
The women looked beautiful.
Beautiful.
In their gown,
Oh, yeah.
the cocktail dresses and gowns, and the men wore suits, and
exactly.
they looked good and they had class. And now, and thank God for me in my shows when I walk out, in Vegas, the people, they dress nicely, but for a lot of there are people in ball caps and
Right.
shorts, shorts and t-shirts, and it's Vegas is, it's so totally changed.
Well,
it's changed.
Yeah, Brad and I, we're into the suit look. We wear suits all the time
Yay!
in our business. But I think Jerry might verify this story. But I think one of the coolest things that ever happened in Deana Martin's career was the fact when the Beatles came out in 1964, and all the American artists were just forgotten overnight and couldn't get in the top 10, and Dean had a #1 record in 1964, right during the middle of all that.
Absolutely.
That's right. Everybody loves somebody.
Yes.
Everybody loves somebody, and that was written by his, his musical director, his pianist, Ken Lane.
Right.
And
Right.
And he used to call him Kermit.
Yes.
Ken
He was on the TV show with him, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Constantly.
He was the piano player on the TV show.
And
He
the
was
records.
Yeah. Oh, he was. Well, I loved Ken Lane. He was fabulous. But that is the song. Everybody loves somebody. Knocked the Beatles out of first place. And Dad was so excited. And my dad never was. He wouldn't boast about himself. He wasn't that way. He was just nice, down to earth guy. He sent a telegram to Elvis and one to Frank Sinatra, and it said, "I did it." And I wish I had it. I still have a couple of. I have the one from Elvis, to Dad, which was so cute. But that was a time, and of course, all of my sisters and brothers, we were all just amazed that Dad could actually, knock the Beatles out of first place.
That was really cool because not even Elvis could hit the #1 spot in 1964.
No, that's right. And I have to laugh. I remember my dad was he was hosting the Hollywood Palace.
I remember the show.
Yeah, and he was that's over on Vine, across the street from Capitol Records,
Right.
actually.
Mm-hmm.
And it's now called the Avalon. But I remember him calling me, and he said, "Deana," he said, "you probably want to come over here." He said, "because there's a group of guys. It looks like they just got off the boat. So I'm sure you and your sisters would love to see it. So we get to the Hollywood Palace, and it was the Rolling Stones.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
So one of the questions we always ask a lot of our friends on air is if we were to get back into Dad's iPod, as it were, what would he have been listening to?
Oh, gosh. Who would he be?
That's a good question.
Destination Moon.
He'd be listening to Destination Moon.
I mean, the album by Deana Martin.
The album by Deana Martin. And actually, at that time, he would have been listening to Dinah Washington.
Oh.
It's amazing. My dad loved country music.
I did not know that.
He loved country music, and his first country song he recorded with Conway Twitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what song was that?
My first country song.
My first country song.
Oh, my
It was a hit.
Well, he'd always include a couple of country tunes on his albums, like Detroit City and Houston. And,
Houston, Little Old Wine Drinker Me. Well, that may not be very country, but Gentle on My Mind.
Right.
But Houston, going back to Houston, was beautiful. But he just loved to listen to that music. And Frank Sinatra thought he was nuts, in the beginning. He thought, well, why are you listening to country?
Right.
But it was something that touched my dad.
Yeah.
And he was so down to earth. And gosh, so funny. Oh my gosh.
And Jerry probably knows this too, that Elvis's probably biggest influence was your dad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Now, did you tell me, Jerry? I think that they both recorded. Was it 22 of the same songs?
Well, I listed them all in a newspaper column once. I think there were maybe 14 or something, but there was double digits. Let's put it like that, of the songs that they both recorded.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Deana, there is one thing I need to ask you before we end up saying adios for the day. But the guys and I were talking before you came on, and I was telling them about the documentary that's in the works, and none of us know anything about it, so can you give us some clues?
Oh, sure. Oh, and I even forgot to, say one of my favorite parts about being at Capitol Studios recording that's True Love with my dad. I was at the original recording when my dad recorded Memories Are Made of This.
Wow.
And that was his first #1 hit.
Yeah.
So there were so many memories for me, going back to Capitol.
That was about 1954, 55, right?
55.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And 55, 56, 55. Yeah, well,
55.
55.
Okay. So getting back to what were we getting back to?
Back to the documentary.
Back to the documentary. It all kind of started with we're making my book, Memories Are Made of This, Dean Martin Through His Daughter's Eyes, into a movie. And that is in the works right now. We just had the meeting actually on our birthday, Jerry, in Beverly Hills with Bonnie Hunt and Joe Mantegna and Don Lake. So we are making the movie. Now we're going to end up in 2017. It will be my dad's 100. It would have been his 100th birthday.
Wow.
And all these celebrations that we have right now with Frank Sinatra and the beautiful documentary that they put together for him, that's what I want to have done by 2017,
cool.
by my dad's birthday.
Excellent.
So we're working it all together. This documentary is going to be phenomenal. And the people, and in fact, if you have a chance, it's on HBO, and it's a beautiful documentary called The Casting. And it's about casting directors, and it's the same people, Ilan and Tom Donahue, are going to be the producers and the directors of this. But they do such detail.
Wow.
It's absolutely going to be spectacular. And I'm sure, Jerry, they're going to want to interview you for this. We are going to everyone. There's going to be, they're going to interview. So it's going to take us, about the 2 years to complete this. And it will be an unbelievable documentary. And if any of you think of anyone that we should add to the list to interview, who would know something about Dean Martin, I would love to. We're going to go back to people in Steubenville and to all of, his friends. Lee Hale, who was the musical director on the Dean Martin Show. And we're going to go to Bob Newhart and Don Rickles and all of these people.
You better hurry up to some of these people.
I know,
exactly.
Not funny, but and we lost one that I really wanted to interview was Van Alexander.
Yes, yeah.
And Van Alexander, he turned 100 on May 2nd. And John and I were at the birthday party he had at Catalina's, and he was unbelievable. But he's the one who wrote Tisket to Tasket with Ella. He was also the head arranger for the Dean Martin Show.
You
and
know,
we would have had so much from him.
Well, Deana, you got to get Jerry.
Well, Jerry, of course.
I mean, is Jerry Lewis still available?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you got to get him.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be just a terrific documentary, and it's just going to be it's time-consuming and, piecing it together. But these guys are amazing, so they're going to do a fabulous job. And hopefully I might do some narration on it.
Cool.
So there's a lot going on, and I have an album. We're in the middle of recording a new album this year, so we're a little busy.
It sounds like you're busy.
Yeah, we're busy.
You know, I was in the casino industry in Las Vegas for 26 years, and I sat at the table with a lot of dealers, old-time dealers. I was kind of the young guy then, and they told me stories of dealing blackjack with Deana Martin in Steubenville, Ohio.
Yes.
Ooh.
So
yeah.
He was a croupier?
Yeah, he was a blackjack dealer. And in those days, of course, there was no real casinos, but there were casinos.
There was Rex's cigar store in the back of Rex's cigar store.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we all know, so much time has passed now that we all know, how that went in those days.
Yeah.
But if you were going to be a dealer, you were dealing in Rex's cigar store or something like that, especially if you were in Ohio or New York or whatever.
Yes, it's true. Now, my dad had such massive hands.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were huge. I mean, if he could deal, he was fantastic, and the dealers loved him.
And there was
in Vegas.
Also there's stories in Vegas too about how when Dean got done with his show, he would go into the blackjack pit and he would deal some hands of blackjack.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he did it a lot.
Sometimes he would let the very pretty ladies
Win.
get 21.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah, can't imagine.
All right, I have one last question. I know that we always try to relate it to various different listeners we have here, but if we were to get inside to your iPod, Deana, what would we be looking at?
Well, you'd probably hear Bruno Mars.
Cool.
There we go.
Love Bruno Mars.
I just adore him. Of course, Adele, Diana Krall, and so I mean it's. But I'll tell you, I would go anywhere for Bruno.
Oh yeah,
it's interesting.
My God, he's such an entertainer.
Johnny and I both came out about 1.5 years ago when a couple of those songs hit, and both looked at each other and went, "That guy can perform."
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He is definitely one of this generation's better voices.
He really is, and he can perform, and he's just he's amazing.
Now he's a young entertainer or a contemporary entertainer that has class.
There you go.
He's clean. His hair looks sharp. He dresses like $1 million. His clothes fit him. I mean, he's like the entertainer of Deana Martin's day, Elvis Presley day, Sinatra day. He reflects that so much.
He really looks the part, and I'll tell you he's amazing. And I love his voice, but he's an amazing entertainer. But when we saw him on the Super Bowl,
yeah,
he was his record sales had already been just off the charts, anyways. But that night, when people saw him, that was such a wonderful, wonderful show for him because it just showed what he could do.
Yep.
And then, of course, the record sales went through the roof again. So, but he's one of them.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, I have very close friends over in Honolulu, where I'm from, as he is. And interestingly enough, you said how Dad was always right and came from a strong family. So does Bruno. He comes from a very, very strong family where family is family and you take care of each other, and Mom was right. I think I can say Bruno would be more fearful of his mom than he would be of any of his uncles.
As well he should be. But when someone can write a line like, "I'd take a grenade for you," oh my God.
Yeah.
Hello.
And then Jerry, just for fun, who's in your iPod?
Well, Dino, of course. Elvis, Marty Robbins, Deana Martin. I would have said that even if she's not listening, because she deserves it. I mean, a lot of people think that all Deana can do is talk about her dad. Believe me, she is a fantastic entertainer, fantastic performer, fabulous singer in her own right, and I don't want anyone to forget that.
Well, thank you for saying that. Some people, seem to forget that I'm out there doing it.
I'll admit, you got a new fan in Seattle.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, I'm very impressed.
Now, if we can only get her back here for a show. She hasn't been here since, don't tell me, 2009 maybe? 2008.
Benaroyal Hall.
Yeah, 2008. We were there, of course. Afterwards, we went to the top of the Space Needle, went to the Boeing Museum, had a couple of lunches and dinners, and had a great time.
What's fun? Well, it's time for us to come back, and I don't know if I'll bring a big band or my quintet, but we will do it, and we'll have my handsome husband John make some calls, and we'll make it happen soon.
Well, if you do, and I'm sure these guys on the phone with us will be there.
Oh, we will help.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
be glad to help.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, then that's our plan. That's our mission.
Yeah.
You choose to take it.
All right.
we choose to.
Then I get a hug.
All right, great.
And actually, before we had you on the show today, we were listening to you sing, and Brad and I both agreed, and so did my producer Eric Ryder. Hey, she can sing.
Oh,
she sounds great.
I've worked very hard at that, and thank God I got a little DNA going there. So
Yeah, but the thing about DNA, I was just having this conversation with another friend of mine in a different, kind of a different angle. But the one thing about DNA is that helps a little bit, but you still got to put in the time and you got to put in the effort.
Oh yeah,
it's clear that you've done that.
Yes, thank you. I have. I work every day at it, and it's to me, it's really a lot of hard work. It's 24/7, and we're always on the road. But the thing is, I think if you're not getting better, get off.
And
so I'm always learning and always trying to get better, and that's it's a challenge, and it's wonderful, and it keeps you going. And it's what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Well, I would say it shows, and I'm going to guess, I'm just going to say it because you haven't brought it up yet, but I'm going to guess that being Dean Martin's daughter probably is hard at times, that a lot of people are watching and comparing you to some things that you've had to really step up to.
You know what, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's true. It's tough, and big shoes to try and fill. Not that I have to, but thank God, I'm Deana Martin, so I'm a girl, and so they, it's not like I'm Frank Sinatra Jr.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
But for me, so I could go my own way, but working hard and doing it is one thing. But right now, after I finish a show, in the beginning, when I would finish a show, people would come up, to say hi to me after the show. I'm signing CDs or books, and they'd say, "Gosh, I'm your dad's #1 fan, and your show was good." So now, when I get off, people come up to me and they go, "Your show is unbelievable. Thank you. You're really, really good.
Good for
and
you.
by the way, I loved your dad." So it's turned around, and that's I will always sing his praises because he was unbelievable. Dean Martin, for heaven's sake.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you.
So I'm proud of that. Thank you very much.
Deana, here's another one of my dazzling observations.
Uh-oh.
3/5 of Deana is DNA.
Oh.
Think about that.
Deana.
3/5 of Deana is DNA.
Oh, I get it.
Oh, my,
Yeah.
wow.
Cute,
Jerry.
Jerry. Cute.
I wish I was there to give you a big hug and kiss.
That's why he's the historian.
Yes, he is. Are you working on another book now, Jerry?
I'm always working on the next book. I do about 3 or 4 books every year, so that means every day I'm working on a book.
All right, well, you go back and work. I'm going to go rehearse now.
Okay. Deana, what a pleasure to have you on the show. Let's do it again.
All right, we will do that. I will come back on the show, especially when I get my when the documentary comes out, when my CD, my new album comes out, and the book, the movie, and everything. So I will be there. You guys have been absolutely fabulous, and what a this is like one of my most fun interviews.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
All right, my pleasure. Thank you. Bye, Jerry. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. We'll talk soon.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Bye-bye.
Deana Martin on Viva ENT.
What a day.
What a treat, and what a great guest, and boy, oh boy, it's like royalty on Viva ENT.
I agree.
Don't you agree?
I am just beaming from ear to ear.
Very cool. So, we got time. We're just going. Can we get Everybody Loves Somebody as the going out?
I'm
rap?
way ahead of you.
I knew it.
Look at that. Look at that.
Well, I want to announce some dates for the Tacoma Wedding Expo, ladies and gentlemen. September 12th and 13th, Viva ENT will be there broadcasting live
And sponsoring.
and there's another station that's going to be there.
Yeah, we've got KLAY that's going to be doing a live remote.
Correct.
We've got, oh my goodness, 125 different companies. Everybody's excited. Everybody's decorating.
We also have the Xfinity show in Everett on the 19th and the 20th.
We do.
The Bellevue show on the 27th.
That's going to be the big show.
Good, and it's going to be an exciting time, and September is always a great month because nowhere else in the entire state can you, as a vendor, meet potential clients in the month of September.
Like that, face to face,
Face to
hundreds,
face.
if not a couple thousand.
Station to station.
There you go.
I'm telling you. Now, I got something that I want to tell the listeners out there. I will be performing with my band, Johnny and the Bad Boys, at the Midtown Grill, September 12th. So after I get done doing the show at the Wedding Expo, I'm going to jump in the van. I'm going to head down there with my guitar. and I'm going to rock the night away. 7 to 11, Midtown Grill, Bonnie Lake, Johnny and the Bad Boys.
And, of course, they perform the theme song to this very show.
Absolutely. Yeah,
so people get a good idea of what you guys sound like just by tuning in at the top of the hour.
That's right. The opener is Johnny and the Bad Boys.
Great tune.
I'll also be back at the Drift on Inn Casino on November 14th, which is a Saturday night, and I'll let you know about other dates that are coming up. And we're going to end the show today with Deana Martin's #1 record from 1964, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Brad Buckles, Eric C.C. Ryder, this is Johnny the Capo. We'll dig you now and see you later, because you're fine.
Sweet potato.
Thank you so much.
Something in your kiss just told me my sometime is now. Everybody finds somebody someplace. There's no telling where love may appear. Something in my heart keeps saying my someplace is here. If I had it in my power, I'd arrange for every girl to have your charm. Then every minute, every hour, every boy would find what I found in your arms. Everybody loves somebody sometime, and although my dream was overdue, your love made it well worth waiting for someone